Welcome back. It's still This Morning live on Metro TV. This morning we are reviewing this nice, lovely blue book, and I mean blue, interesting. But then let me read something small about the book. It's about nurturing the American dream. Have you ever wondered why so many people struggle to make ends meet whilst a few rich people earn lots of money? Do you ever wonder what the American dream is and what you can do to achieve it? Education is the key to success in any field of your choice. Financial education is the key to your financial success. This book series is absolutely a must-read, insightful blueprint. It will provide you with the nitty-gritty information on the economy, how it works, and what you must do to reach your highest potential and achieve the hashtag American Dream through problem solving and creating value. Prepare to be inspired to think big, dream even bigger, and hashtag believe that if you can dream it, yes, hashtag you can make it happen. Oh my goodness. That's very insightful indeed. So this morning we have the author of this lovely blue book, and it's Frank P.N.J. Mensah. It's lovely to see you, Frank.
Thank you so much.
Good morning and welcome. Yeah, the American dream.
Yes.
I was just thinking about it. Why not the Ghanaian dream?
Oh, that's it. I beg.
I am just asking.
Very, very true. American dream because, well, it's a thing, that a lot of people know. They just don't know what it is.
Okay.
It's a thing. Now, American dream by itself is nothing but freedom to pursue happiness for yourself and your family. It's about being able to live your life and raise your family the way you would like without financial stress. That's what it is about.
Wow.
How you get to that point, I mean, it's that simple. But how you get to that point is not, the simplest, which is why a lot of people don't. And, even a lot of people sometimes get there by accident. Not because they, knew the principles, because there are principles to follow. And if you follow those principles, you will get to that point. It's like, 1 + 1 is always equal to 2, no matter how or where you apply it.
Okay. Yep. Interesting. And I realized that what Nanaya was reading was more about using our abilities to be able to overcome the obstacles that we find ourselves in. What was the thinking process?
Okay, so I researched and realized, because a lot of people are living in poverty across the world. Now, the reason is because they don't understand the wealth creation process. Wealth is the only antidote to poverty. But if you don't understand how wealth is created, we have all kind of views, you have to do this, you have to do this, which I don't even want to mention, some include, Sikadru and all that, killing people for, which is totally ridiculous.
Yeah.
They just don't understand how wealth is created. They don't understand how wealthy people became wealthy. They will say, well, this guy was in school with him, all throughout, he wasn't even doing well. How come he's so rich? They don't understand the process. So somebody will whisper in there, well, they went to this juju person and this and that, which is not true. Wealth is created, one, by finding a problem that affects people in society, and finding solution to it. And that's it. It's as simple as that. By creating value in product and services to solve that problem.
Okay.
And that whole process of creating wealth also create jobs.
Okay.
So we need more of those. Currently, our educational system is saying that, we just, if you have kids or anything like that, go to school so you can get a job. That's what we tell them. And that's what everybody tell children. Go to school so you can have a good job. But we never ask the question, who is going to create the good jobs?
Yeah.
Why not them? And the critical question is, how can we even educate them to become job creators too?
Okay.
How? That process is not in the school system at all, and that's why this is here to fill the gap.
To feel that kind.
Because we will teach them, math, science, math, this geography and all that. But the wealth creation process is not part of any curriculum at all.
Okay.
Interesting.
Frank, how long did it take you to, complete this particular book? And first of all, is this your first book?
No, this is my second book.
Okay.
My first book is The American Dream Declassified.
Okay.
When I studied the system, how wealth is created, I decided to write a book. There are so many wealth creation, books around. But I decided to bring that whole language down to the street level, where the average person on the street can read it and understand it and apply the principles. What I noticed was, a lot of people were reading it, and giving super good, awesome reviews. They liked the material they were reading.
Okay.
But what I also noticed was, well, they were not changing. It's like they were, they just kept doing exactly what they were doing.
At one place, yeah.
So they read it, they like it, but no change. So I sat down and realized, okay, I was born a Christian. So the first one, the wealth, that whole wealth creation process, which is, find a problem and solve, is in Galatians 6:2, which says, carry each other's burdens.
Yeah.
And in this way, you will fulfill the law of Christ. In other words, burdens are what? Problems. So solve a problem. And when you realize all around the world, regardless of where you go, China, India, Pakistan, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Wealthy people are wealthy because they find solution to problems. They are solving problems.
Yeah.
And that's how they live their lives. They live their lives by constantly finding one problem to solve and then move to another, constantly. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I wrote that book, to basically, inform the average person how wealth is created.
Yeah, you keep mentioning average person, but this is a children's book.
True. So it leads to, this one.
Okay.
So when I realized people were not changing, I went back to the Bible and, did my research, and then I bumped into, again, my famous quote, which is in Proverbs 22, verse 6, which says, train up the child in a way he should go. When he's old, he will not depart from it. So I, put the two together and came to the conclusion that we should be training children to become problem solvers. And when they are old, they will not depart from that.
Okay.
Because I realized it is not just about reading the book and, getting the knowledge, but it's also about, and you will understand it very well. If I give this book to an adult, they will read it, they like it, they understand everything. But it's more than that. It is also about being able to change your habit.
Okay.
What you do from morning to evening. If you cannot change that, then your life will not change simply because you read a book. But children don't have, set habits yet. They are still growing. And so when you give them the information, they are able to form their habits based on what they've read. True. Now they understand the wealth creation process.
Okay.
So they organize their lives around, that body of knowledge. And so they will be more successful.
Yeah.
So the Bible, train up the child in a way to go. We are not sending kids anymore to just go to school to get a job. Now they are going to school to learn something.
Acquire the knowledge.
Exactly. And then come out to create wealth, because the wealth creation process also creates jobs.
Okay. So what's the age range for, let's say, 10 to...
From 8.
8.
From 8. But I submitted the book to NACA, which is the National Council for Curriculum and Assessment in Ghana. They have to assess any book educational material that is going to schools.
Yeah.
And so they assessed it and prescribed for kids in JSS and SHS.
Okay, the language,
yes,
is the language so simple? Because the way you've explained it, it sounds okay. An adult would be the one to.
Yes.
How's the language in there?
And that is the reason why it took me 4 years for this one. The first one that I wrote, the American Dream Declassified, it took me 6 months. Between me and my brother, he was illustrating a little bit here and there. 6 months to 7 months, it was published. Sent a copy to U.S. Congress and all that stuff. Issue certificate done. This one, working even harder, It is so simple, but it took us 4 years in order to make it that simple. Because you have to bring, see, you can go through all this and not find the word economy in it. And yet we are trying to explain economy to children.
Yeah.
Because if you mention economy, well, they will, what does it mean?
I was trying to
what I'm
look
saying.
for the word economy, but
It is not in. Now, doing
Yeah.
this, I had to bring a whole lot of children to my house.
Okay.
Children, especially at age 8, from various backgrounds, rich, poor, those whose parents, don't
Middle
even
class,
speak
yeah.
English and all that. Because so if you give to a child who, maybe is an immigrant and their parents don't speak English, if they don't understand anything, they can't ask their parents, what does it mean?
Yeah.
They can't. So I had to bring so many of them. And, the process was, if they, when they're reading it and they don't understand any part of it, I don't explain to them. I change, I had
You change the
to
word.
pull that and, reorganize that whole part so they can read it without,
Asking
what
what's
this
the meaning
means.
of that?
And you are doing that for so many children
Yeah.
throughout the book.
Okay.
So the process took that long.
Okay. This is a very good book. Now,
Yeah.
where
Thank
can we get some to buy? Is it expensive? Or let me just begin from NACA. Have they approved that?
Yes, they have.
Okay. So
Yes.
now you have them out in the book.
We have, we have the approval, which means we are now able to distribute in schools. But this is what I noticed in Ghana. Ghana, we have systemic poverty issues. We have, our population is somewhere between 30 and 32 million. Now we have, somewhere around 25 million people living below the poverty line. That is systemic. So if we were to sell the books, most likely a whole lot of kids will not even get it to start with. They are in the villages, they are somewhere deep in the, but as long as they attend school, they must have, and the reason is for in the interest of Ghana itself, we can have everybody trying to pour into Accra and big cities and all that. Congestion is all over the place. But if we can get the copies of the books to all these kids,
Yeah.
wherever they are, they can start that wealth creation and job creation process wherever they are, and not have to think about relocating to Accra, so that we can have even development all across the country. And
True.
for that to happen, we need sponsors, to help us order the books
Yeah.
in bulk,
Yeah.
so we can distribute all across, so we can have that whole process started from wherever they live, and not feel like, well, I'm from this village, but I finished school, there's nothing to do in my village, so I have to relocate to Accra. Once they read this, they will start that process right there. That's
True.
where they live, they are comfortable, they don't have to relocate to find jobs that don't even exist,
Yeah, in Accra.
let alone, so they graduate. We have, very high graduate unemployment. So if you didn't graduate, if you were dropout, you are not even, going to get it. And that's why some of, those people end up in Galamsey sites and all that. Because,
yeah.
But if we were creating enough jobs, we wouldn't have that problem. Currently, US has over 11 million job openings. They can't even fill. They need people to
they
fill
need
those
people to
jobs.
fill that.
Because we have so many job creators.
Okay.
Okay. Now, what's about those who are not in school? What's the plan for them to be able to read this and get the
Very
understanding?
good. Very good question. I like that. Now, currently we have 3 main problems in Ghana. We have, high unemployment, and then we have the Galamsey issues, which stem from that. High unemployment, people are spilling out, ending up in Galamsey sites and all that. And then we have the dollar rate. The dollar to CD exchange rate just off the chain. So those are the issues. Now, from this book, Famous Multimedia has agreed to produce the book into a movie, so that even if they are not in school, even if they are in Galamsey site and all that, as long as they can watch the movie, they can learn.
benefit from the book,
exactly.
yeah.
When I was coming from the US, I was flying from Washington D.C. to Brussels, Belgium, and I was looking for a movie to watch. I was skimming through and I found Galamsey. Awesome. this is Ghana movie, and I mean, I was impressed that because, I was flying in United. It's an American airline, and yet we have Galamsey in it. But then I kept asking myself, well, I chanced into Galamsey because I'm a Ghanaian, and that whole thing is familiar to me.
Yeah.
The title and all that. But what about? And so I actually, went around and I found about 5 Ghanaians in it, and I told them, yeah, this movie is Galamsey and it's in it, so you might as well. And all of them watched it. But then I kept asking myself, what if there's, let's say, a Japanese girl sitting, somewhere at the back? I mean, what's the chance that she will? First of all, the title is not familiar.
Yeah.
Second, even if she were to click on it, the content, there's no Galamsey going on in Japan, so it might not benefit her. But this one, I figured. So when I came back, when I came here, I told Famous, why don't you produce this into a movie?
Yeah.
Because first of all, the American dream itself, everybody around the world have heard it. So
Yeah.
they will likely click on it.
True.
And then second, the content also applies to any country, especially
everybody.
where there's poverty.
Exactly.
So, and Ghanaian movie company producing this around the world, that will mean a whole lot because it will stand the potential of winning, stuff in America and all that, and put Ghana on the pedestal. Well, a Ghanaian movie producer has won this and that. That's how CNN will, carry it.
Yeah.
So that is one part.
Well, I know it's a whole lot, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, time is not on
Yeah.
our side.
I totally understand.
have to get on to where we can get the book if anybody wants any of that.
Sure. So, like I was saying, we prefer not to sell it, rather, to, have sponsors,
Okay.
buy, basically help us order the books in bulk and distribute it.
Okay.
And if anybody is interested in sponsoring, we have a number to call,
Okay.
or numbers to call. And the individual's name is Francis Afedo. And his number is, the first number is 024-307-7406. I repeat that, 024-307-7406. And the second number is 020-297-1745. Let me repeat that, 020-297-1745.
Okay, so Francis Kwabena Afedo is the head of registry department at the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission. So the numbers you can call if you want to order the books in large, or the book in large quantity: 0243-077-406 or 0202-971-745.
So let me say this really quick. In the book, there's a sponsors page. That's the first page when the kids open the book.
Okay.
And sponsors page means whoever sponsors either your pictures or your business advertising will be
Will
there.
be in
So
there. Okay. Yeah,
and
so it's part of
Besides.
when they exactly
Oh,
this
okay.
is that, and when they produce the movie, they'll also be
They'll also
acknowledged
be
in the movie as well, in the acknowledgement section.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a great one listening
Yeah.
to the reviews. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
Really
so
do
much for having me. I
your
truly
presence
appreciate
here.
it.